Hello there. So I turned on the news and I'm getting all this stuff about overpopulation. And the way the world's going just now with, for the last 20 odd years with the ozone and climate change, people protesting, uh, even down to people trying to change their eating habits to something like vegan and stuff like that. And now we have people coming out explaining that in a few years, by 2050 or something, the world would have doubled the people on the planet, which will then, of course, dry up our resources and everything else a lot quicker. And so you've got all these people, especially there was a teenage girl, can't remember her name, and she's going around trying to get leaders to listen to her. So for the last 10 years or so, I remember hearing about some of the biggest countries in the world that won't change the way they live by still having big cars and everything else, and being one of the major countries in the world that is polluting and endangering the earth, so to speak. And I feel, for me, it's not going to change, and it's everybody's fault, right? Because everybody's wrapped up in their own sort of problems when it comes to their own family. They feel like it's not within their power to change the world and everything else. Again, it's left to the so-called leaders and politicians, but again, that's up to us to vote the right people in that want to make the change. But instead of making those changes, they want to make the changes to maybe the money that they get, the work and the pensions and everything else. At the same time, we're trying to clear up the world of plastics and recycle and everything else. Now, some people state that the world's already overpopulated, because way back 20, 30 years ago, there were so many still diseases, and there were so many, there were wars going on that still, killed us and everything else. But now we're living in a society where a lot of the diseases are being cured, people are living longer, yada yada yada. So how do we fix this? And for me, the conspiracy theorist, people, they're saying that, for me, if you sort of kind of listen to stuff, the conspiracy theories behind 9/11 and Vietnam War and stuff like that, man on the moon, whatever. Also the fact that there's maybe some places in the world that they hold all these viruses and turning them into weapons. So if there is some sort of religious, now talking about religious, now I watched a documentary on Netflix about how, there's one about Hail Satan, and they're trying to get religion away, the Christian religion away from the White House and make it non-religious. Meanwhile, you've got that sort of fourth eye on the dollar, and people thinking, there's a secret society behind, all these governments around the world. So if there is some sort of secret society, maybe they have the power to maybe release viruses, and I would say that would probably be a main reason to do it. But you could always blame it on somebody else. Now, we've all seen the sci-fi movies. We've all seen things like from Gattaca, and not Gattaca, it's a bad example, Downsizing, or What Happened to Monday, another film on Netflix. there's hundreds of films out there that deal with overpopulation. And places like China just now, I think China had a rule where you could only have one child. People in the news are saying, we should give more benefits to people that have got, one child or whatnot, or no children. Put a tax on every child that you have to try to force them to have less, because nobody wants to come out and say you cannot have more children. Nobody wants to come out and say, and tell you how to live. Nobody's interested in that, because they'll be slated in the governments and stuff like that. So the only way you would do it, you'd have to do it secretly by releasing some sort of virus. And I turned on the radio just now, and what do I hear? There is a virus out there just now, making a lot of people sick. So also there's another thing where, I'm talking about vegan burgers and people trying to eat less meat, because we've got to try to save the animals as well, because as the population grows, so the need for meat and everything else. And then so you have to breed more cows. And then talking of cows, you've got what they extrude from their backside, methane gas, which is also harmful to the environment. So should we kill all the cows, and where does the milk come from, and everything? So there's not an easy explanation. But talking about methane gas, another explanation, without millions of years ago, when dinosaurs ruled the earth. Some people still don't believe that. There's one theory on what made the dinosaurs extinct, is because you look at the size of dinosaurs, and if they do a pump-a-doodles, all that methane gas would have went into the atmosphere, and Mother Nature fight back. Maybe this is what's happening to the world just now, when you see these tsunamis and big tidal waves, volcano erupting, and fires in Australia and everything else. So maybe Mother Nature is trying to fix itself, but we are so wrapped up. I'm also responsible. I deal with things that make me happy, like my other YouTube channel, DC Vigilante, on my page, things to get us by. We can worry about tomorrow, we can worry about dying, leaving our kids, or there's so many things in this world to worry about, and we try to pass it on to somebody else, and for them to fix the world's issues, and nobody's listening. But maybe they are. Maybe they're just waiting for the right moment to release their plan, release the gas. God, we've got nuclear weapons, so to speak, if it really gets out of hand. But as I say, so you've got Mother Nature on our sides who will fight back, or we have a secret society that's ready to unleash some sort of killer virus that help the population decrease, that may also help the earth. Is that, because we cannot go out and say, right, we must sacrifice ourselves to save the planet, to fix the planet. They would have to do it in a secret way. Well, let me know what you guys and girls think out there. Am I onto something? Am I talking a lot of mince? Let us know. Thanks very much for listening.